They called him God. Millions believed it. For decades, he commanded absolute loyalty, transforming followers' lives, owning their possessions, dictating their loves. He built an empire, not of land or gold, but of devotion, a spiritual kingdom stretching across continents, all centered on a man whose origins were as mysterious as his claims were audacious. This was the world of Father Divine, born George Baker, a figure who rose from obscurity at the turn of the 20th century to become one of the most powerful, enigmatic, and controversial religious leaders in American history. His story isn't just about faith. It's about power, manipulation, and the desperate human need for belonging. Before he was Father Divine, before he was God, he was a preacher, a captivating orator who found his voice amidst the vibrant, often turbulent, spiritual awakenings sweeping through black communities in the post-Reconstruction South. It was a time of immense social change, economic hardship, and a yearning for spiritual guidance. His early life remains shrouded in conflicting accounts, a deliberate obfuscation by Divine himself. Some say he was born in Georgia, others on a small island off the coast. What's clear is his uncanny ability to attract followers, even in his earliest days as a traveling evangelist, long before he declared himself divine. By the 1920s, he had established himself in Sayville, New York, a small Long Island town. It was here that his movement truly began to coalesce. He preached a gospel of racial equality, economic self-sufficiency, and celibacy, attracting a diverse congregation of both black and white followers, a radical concept for the era. Divine offered more than just sermons. He offered salvation from the harsh realities of the Great Depression. His heavens were communal living spaces, providing food, shelter, and employment to thousands. For many, these were literal lifelines in an unforgiving world, and Divine was their benevolent provider. But with this benevolence came an iron grip. Followers were expected to surrender all personal assets to Divine's movement. Their wages, their homes, their savings, everything became part of the peace mission treasury. This wasn't charity. It was absolute surrender, a complete merging of individual identity with the collective. He imposed strict rules. No smoking, no drinking, no profanity, and most critically, celibacy. Marriage within the movement was often discouraged, and existing marital bonds were frequently dissolved. Divine believed in a sexless society, a spiritual purity that he claimed would bring about true peace and prosperity. His power grew exponentially. Grand banquets known as Holy Communions became legendary. Thousands would gather, feasting on lavish spreads, a stark contrast to the widespread poverty outside. These were not just meals. They were theatrical displays of Divine's perceived divine power to manifest abundance. At these gatherings, Divine would preside, often silent for long periods, allowing the anticipation to build. Then he would speak, his voice mesmerizing, his words imbued with a certainty that captivated and convinced. He didn't just preach. He performed, creating an atmosphere of awe and reverence. His followers believed he was God incarnate, capable of miracles, of granting eternal life. They attributed every good fortune to his blessing, every misfortune to a lack of faith. This belief system created an unshakable devotion, a psychological fortress around Divine, making any dissent almost impossible. One of the most striking examples of his control was the Father Divine's Peace Mission Movement Bank. Members deposited their money, trusting that Divine, as God, would manage it perfectly. This financial consolidation allowed him to acquire vast properties, including hotels, farms, and businesses. His influence extended beyond New York, reaching major cities like Philadelphia and even internationally, with heavens established in Europe and Australia. He communicated with his global network through a sophisticated system of letters and emissaries, maintaining a tight grip on his expanding flock. But this burgeoning empire wasn't without its critics and its dark underbelly. Lawsuits plagued Divine, from disgruntled former members seeking their lost assets to accusations of fraud and coercion. He was often arrested, but his followers would invariably rally, protesting his innocence, further cementing their loyalty. The most infamous case involved the death of a former follower, Verinda Brown, who reportedly jumped from a window after expressing disillusionment with Divine. While Divine was never directly implicated, the incident cast a long, ominous shadow, fueling speculation about the psychological pressure exerted on his adherents. He married twice, both times to white women, a controversial choice in an era of strict racial segregation. His second wife, Edna Rose Richings, known as Mother Divine, was significantly younger and remained by his side until his death. acting as a spiritual successor and leader of the movement. The strict celibacy rule, especially for his female followers, has been a recurring point of contention. Some argue it was a means of control, preventing personal attachments that might compete with loyalty to divine. Others claim it was a genuine spiritual principle, albeit one that led to complex personal sacrifices. His followers were often isolated from their families and outside influences. Letters were screened, contact limited. This created an echo chamber where divine's word was the only truth, and any dissenting voice was dismissed as misguided or even demonic. This is a common pattern in cultic groups. Despite the controversies, divine maintained a powerful public image, advocating for civil rights and social justice. He was a vocal opponent of lynching and discrimination, positions that earned him respect from some mainstream figures, even as his religious claims were dismissed by others. Divine died in 1965 at his estate, Woodmont, in Gladwine, Pennsylvania. Even in death, his influence lingered. His followers believed he had simply transitioned, and the movement continued, albeit with a slowly dwindling membership, sustained by the unwavering faith of those who remained. The legacy of Father Divine is a complicated tapestry of faith, fraud, charisma, and control. He offered hope and community to thousands, particularly during times of immense suffering. But that hope came at the cost of individual autonomy, personal freedom, and often family ties. His story serves as a stark reminder of how easily the lines between spiritual devotion and absolute control can blur. How a charismatic leader, promising salvation, can build an empire not just of property, but of minds and souls, leaving behind a profound and often painful mark on history. The allure of a divine leader, capable of solving all problems, remains a potent force. Father Divine's journey from obscure preacher to self-proclaimed deity is a testament to that enduring human vulnerability, a dark charm that continues to echo through the annals of cultic movements. Next, we delve into the shadow